An open letter, the reply that choked on its own echo. The newest reply hit the docket. Well, and it deserves to be printed on tissue paper and used to wipe my ass because that's all it's really good for. Whomever cobbled this together clearly believes volume can substitute for facts. Let's not dress it up. That's the hill they chose to die on. It's a padded cell monologue. They repeat themselves like a parrot with a head injury. They cite their own filings if it makes them true and puffs up ordinary scraps into courtroom fireworks. Well, shit, if this were advocacy, it would be malpractice. If it were strategy, it would be a suicide, but it's neither. It's just noise in paragraph form. The admission centerpiece is one line from a text. You don't have discovery in your possession. That's it. That's the so-called smoking gun. The grand confession. The foundation of their sanctions crusade. You'd think the court was handed Watergate tapes when it's just the legal equivalent of a grocery list. What's the kind of logic you'd expect from someone who thinks that fortune cookies are binding contracts? No rational person would mistake it for an admission, but rationality clearly wasn't invited to the drafting table on this one. Whoever wrote this bullshit has all the discernment of a raccoon and a dumpster that was lit on fire. Instead of building an argument with exhibits and citations, they went with the mirror method. Cite yourself, then declare yourself credible because you cited yourself. It's a self-licking lollipop or a self-licking dildo, whichever you prefer. A reply quoting its own prior spin, pretending that the echo is evidence. And by the way, courts don't fall for that. They've seen this kind of circular nonsense before. Well, it never ends well for the fool who thought they could bluff their way into some sort of credibility. And then there's the YouTube smear. According to this reply, Larry broadcast his response on YouTube within hours of filing it. The proof? A video link. But amazing enough, it's not Larry's channel. Not Larry's upload. Not even Larry's account. They actually point to my video, a journalist with a sparkly helmet. More on that. And try to pin it on him. Well, shit, that's not an argument. That's the sloppiest of a lie. That's the sort of mistake you make when you're in such a hurry to smear that you don't even check the header. Shit, whoever wrote this has all the tech savvy of a grandma trying to FaceTime with a TV remote. They didn't even bother to check the channel name and see that it's Shizzywhiznut, not DUI guy, plus, before spinning their conspiracy. Imagine handing the court a random newspaper clipping and saying, see proof, a moron named Shivsy covered this. That's how sloppy this is. Whoever wrote it has all the attention to detail of a drunk raccoon pawing through trash bags. Now let's savor their proudest flourish. This is also the case for the now second lawsuit where Larry has been credibly accused of deceit. What they're actually referring to is the Jefferson County complaint filed by Deuce himself. The man's so bitter, he turned a failed mac and cheese stunt into a lifelong grudge, like a chihuahua humping air. This complaint isn't proof. It isn't a judgment. It isn't credibility. It's a man's salty tears on paper, electronically stamped. Waving it around like it's Exhibit A in a federal court is peak cowardice. Well, courts don't confuse accusations with evidence, and they certainly don't hand out credibility points for being salty in two different venues. And salty is exactly the word. This whole bitch-ass replying to Larry stating that their little game is not working and to move on to arbitration as defense requested drips with it. It reads like the work of someone who knows that they'll never have what Larry has. That's actual talent, actual charisma, actual business sense. Because, see, Larry built an audience out of skill and wit. He built his law firm out of pure talent and skill. The author of this reply built a reputation out of face plants. Shit, you can smell the resentment between the lines. It's the bitterness of someone who's tired, failed, and decided if they can't win, they'll sue. It shows in the style, too. Every page radiates insecurity. They throw out bar rules like confetti as if listing ethics codes makes up for the absence of proof. They toss a line of faux philosophy. The confidence belongs to the accused, not the accuser. Shit, that reads like it was scribbled on a napkin at 2 a.m. between bong hits. It's the kind of filler you'd expect from someone who probably did get their law degree out of a Cracker Jack box, and judging by the low T energy pouring off the page, they're still waiting for the decoder ring to arrive. The cowardice is baked into every paragraph. If they had proof of forgery, they'd attach the exhibit. Shit, if they had a case, they'd cite it properly. If they had confidence, they'd argue law instead of philosophy. Instead, we got a parade of empty accusations and reruns of their own filings. Shit, that's not courage, that's cover. It's what you do when you know the judge is going to ask, where's the beef? And all you got is a soy-based sauce on a pork chop. The writing itself gives away the author's soul. Low T energy just oozes off the page. The fake philosophy, the confidence belongs to an accused, not the accuser. Sounds like it was scribbled on a gas station bathroom stall. The bar rule citations are scattershot, tossed in like glitter by someone who hopes that sparkle distracts from the emptiness. It's not advocacy, it's performance art from a failed performer. You can almost hear them grunting in frustration as they type, pausing only to spark another bowl or check the battery life on their personal massager. Someone who's more comfortable taking it in the butt than taking a loss with dignity. And that's the tragedy here. This isn't a one-off blunder. This is a lifetime pattern of failure. Whoever drafted this has probably been pulling the same scam for years, swooping into cases, offering help, botching up everything, then blaming others when it goes to shit. Which you can't win clean, you invent fuckery. And when you can't argue out, you outwine. And when you can't produce results, you produce lawsuits. It's cowardice with a vendetta, nothing more. Shit, this isn't a reply, it's a cry for help, and no matter how many times it screams admitted or criminal, the echo won't change reality. This is the work of a low-rent hack with no future but failure. And in the end, that's all this is. Jealousy, cowardice, and the failure wearing a necktie. The court won't be impressed by the volume. They'll see the vacuum. They'll see a reply that proves nothing, cites nothing but itself, and reeks of someone who will never know what it feels like to win on the merits. They'll see a coward shouting into a mirror, angry at his own reflection because Larry has what he never will: skill, instinct, and the ability to actually make people care. Signed, Shizzywhiznut, the guy with Velcro shoes and a safety helmet, licking windows on the short bus while eating blue crayons because the red ones make me hyper. I might be riding in circles, but even from here, I can see this reply for what it is: a low T whine from a failed lawyer who couldn't argue his way out of a paper bag if you handed him a pair of scissors.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzywhiznut.